Hi viewers, I'm Michelle with Cellar Marketing, and I'm here to introduce beginners to wine. Here in Texas, it's summertime, and while there's plenty of outdoor fun to be had, it's hot out here. In this video, we're going to talk about wines that are effervescent and refreshing, sparkling wines. So let's put those big tannic reds back in the cellar and bring on the bubbles.
Sparkling wines, like champagne, are wines in which carbon dioxide bubbles are held under pressure and released when the bottle is opened. Let's see how sparkling wines get their bubbles. Well, it all starts with sugar. As we know from a previous video, wine fermentation is when sugar is converted into alcohol by means of natural yeast. So let's take a closer look at how fermentation causes bubbles. As we know, yeast is a fungus, but it's also a living organism. During fermentation, yeast consumes sugar. While the yeast is digesting the sugar, carbon dioxide bubbles form and are belched out by the yeast. As the carbon dioxide is released, the sugar converts into alcohol and is expelled by the yeast. So all wine has carbon dioxide bubbles during fermentation, but in still wines, those bubbles are allowed to go flat before the wine is bottled. In sparkling wines, those bubbles are trapped inside the bottle and dissolved under pressure. When the cork is popped, the bubbles spring back to life. Now, let's talk about the most well-known sparkling wine, champagne. Champagne is actually a place in France. As we learned in a previous video, wines made in the US are generally named after the grapes used to make them. But in Europe, many wines are named after the place that they are from. This is true of the Italian sparkling wine, Prosecco, which is named for the village Prosecco in Italy. But just because a wine is from Champagne doesn't automatically give a winemaker the right to call their wine champagne. In Europe, wine grapes are grown in land areas called regions. These regions often have rules regulating what type of grapes are grown and what style of wine is produced in the region. To call a wine champagne, a winemaker must produce his wine by the champagne method, which is more labor-intensive and time-consuming than other sparkling wine production methods. In Champagne, winery workers, otherwise fondly known as cellar rats, have a lot of hard work to do producing the high-quality and complex sparkling wines that Champagne is known for. But some crafty Californians found a way to bend the rules. Some winemakers in California found a loophole and named their wine California Champagne, which caused a 20-year legal battle between France and the US, especially since the champagne method isn't enforced in California. The battle was resolved in 2006 so that no new winemakers could use the term, but wineries that were using the term before 2006 were able to grandfather in the name California Champagne. So you can still see California Champagne on store shelves today. Now, while you're out shopping for bubbly, there are some flavor designations that you're going to want to look for that will tell you how sweet the wine will be. Some sparkling wines are sweeter than others. It just depends on how much sugar the yeast is allowed to eat. If fermentation ends before all the sugar is consumed, the leftover sugar will make the wine sweet. We know from my last video that tannins can make red wine dry. But white wine becomes dry when the yeast eats enough of the sugar so that the wine isn't sweet anymore. Sparkling wines are given a designation based on how sweet they will taste. The designations you are most likely to see at the store are Brut, Extra Dry, and Demi-Sec. Just remember, Brut is drier than Extra Dry. Now, no matter where your sparkling wine is from or how sweet it is, before you serve it, you want to stick it in the fridge. Not only does sparkling wine taste better cold, but once the cork is popped, the cold temperature helps keep it fizzy longer. The warmer the temperature, the quicker your sparkling wine will lose its bubbles and go flat. It took those cellar rats all that extra work to get the bubbles in there, so let's try to make them last. Now, pour yourself a cold glass of bubbly and enjoy the summer. Thank you so much for joining me for my video, Wine, Bring on the Bubbles. Please join me for my next video, Wine, Revealing the Regions. I hope you are enjoying my wine series for beginners. To see more from Cellar Queen Marketing, please like and subscribe. Until next time, live well and enjoy wine.